Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another video. Welcome to Flip the Mind Friday. Flip the Mind Friday, if you guys don't know what that is, I'm pretty much just going to be talking about things regarding Flip the Mind, things about like starting your own kind of like, I don't know, website type thing, and I'm just going to be going over a bunch of different things regarding that's kind of like, it's about mental health, but also about like other things as well. And it's more of like where I can be, not as like in a serious tone, I guess. Not that my other video was like that serious, but I'm saying like it kind of steers away from that stuff and it focuses on more of, like I said, like kind of starting your own business and different things that you can kind of do with that. And I'm just going to be going over today about how I started Flip the Mind. Now, before we do anything, make sure you guys subscribe and hit that like button. It would help me out a lot. We are trying to grow this community as much as we can. We're gonna keep trying to be consistent with what we can do. And yeah, pretty much that's what we're gonna try to do for the rest of the weeks coming up. School is almost ending, which I'm pretty happy about, because then I got more free time to do whatever I want. But anyways, so we're gonna be talking about how I started Flip the Mind, and pretty much all the different things of how I started it from the ground up. So first thing that I would like to talk about with how I got the idea was I actually didn't get this idea right away. It took me a long time for me to get this idea, and I'll show a couple of the notes that I have around my room about how it started. But Flip the Mind wasn't actually the first like business website type thing that I tried to do. I first started getting into like the whole website thing of like, kind of selling things and doing different things when I was looking for a way to, I don't know, like I was just kind of looking around on the internet and there's a lot of things saying like, oh, you can make money by doing this, right? So I was looking online and I found something called drop shipping. For those of you who don't know what drop shipping is, it's pretty much where you look online, you find a product, and you try selling that product from a third party person. Like, you're selling somebody else's product for a higher price, so then you get the margin and they technically get money too as well, if that makes any sense. So I tried doing that for about a week and I grinded putting a bunch of different products on there, and I'm gonna be honest, I was trying to build the next Amazon. That's how confident I was. But I was so wrong. It's actually unbelievable. I was very, very wrong, and I realized right away that no one was gonna buy anything that I was selling because I was just selling it for way too high of a price, and there's a better place like Amazon. So I scratched off that idea, and then I went on to the next idea that I had, which was a slushy magic cup that I was trying to sell. So I actually have the product because I ordered one to like try to promote and stuff. So this is it right here. As you can see, it says Frozen Magic, but since I'm drop shipping and I can't take the name, I did Slushy Magic Cup instead. So I made a bunch of TikToks. I made a couple Instagram posts, and that was pretty much what I was doing the whole time. I even promoted it on one of my YouTube channels, which I'll never tell. So this was the slushy cup that I was trying to sell. It's pretty much where you pour liquid in, you squish it, and you get a slushy out of it. It's pretty great, actually. But obviously, it didn't really sell because I was selling it for like 20 bucks, and you could buy it off of Amazon for like $12. So yeah, obviously, as you can probably tell, it didn't work out. So I trashed it. The next idea that I tried doing was this one called Apollo Pet Prints. Now, what I was doing with Apollo Pet Prints was I was selling pet-themed jewelry. I had an idea that it would maybe sell kind of well. So I got all these stickers, I got these keychains, I got these necklaces that I would make and build. And that was pretty much what I was doing. It was aimed towards like kids and they could buy it and whatnot. And I spent like $250 on that, and that was a mistake. That was a very big mistake because I didn't make a single sale. It was really, really bad, and I just did not make anything off of it. This is kind of a bad example, but this is one of the water cups that I use. These were some of the stickers that were on there. So like now that I have like 8,000 stickers in my closet, I just randomly put it on sometimes because why not? So I had a bunch of pet themed items that I thought I would sell, and once I was just kind of doing it, I was going through a lot of mental stuff at the time, but I also didn't want to do it. I just wasn't even passionate about what I was trying to sell. And after my first idea, I realized not to sell too much. My second one, I realized that I need to sell something more unique. The third business, which was the Apollo Pet Prints, taught me not to buy too much up front. So then came my fourth business idea, and that was Flip the Mind. Flip the Mind was the fourth ever idea that I had of, selling stuff. But with Flip the Mind, I felt something different, right? I was biking one day, it was late at night, and I was just kind of going around town, and I was just, kind of looking around at everything, and I kind of like thought to myself, I should do something for mental health. Like, I want to do something with like a business related, but I want to do something that's aimed towards mental health. So I came up with a bunch of ideas, and eventually I landed on it. I thought about making a web page all about, mental health stuff. And then I got, a bunch more ideas about how I could do a YouTube channel and talk about mental health. How I could start a TikTok and grow, more of a community. Same with an Instagram and grow more of a community. And that's pretty much everything I was trying to do with, starting a new kind of business thing. And, that's what I wanted to do. Now, I don't know if business is really the right word. I mean, I guess that's the category you would put it under. But I wasn't really doing this like, I need to take notes about how much profit I'm going to make off of this. I mean, obviously I did. I took a lot of notes because, I don't want to go like bankrupt trying to sell stuff. But I also didn't want to price things super high. So then then it kind of takes away from the whole idea. The whole idea of Flip the Mind was, trying to get teenagers together and grow a community of people who talk about mental health and who talk about, all these different things regarding that and how each person can help one another grow as a person. And, I used a bunch of my other knowledge with creating music, and I kind of implemented that into my website. And I implemented making shirts, making hoodies, making hats, making bracelets. I learned that from the Apollo Pet Prints, right? So I used all my knowledge that I had of everything that I've done in my life, and I put it all into this one big thing. It's kind of crazy because, even with making the designs, I made some designs for my YouTube channel, and that's how I knew, or that's how I know how to kind of make videos. That's why I know how to talk to an audience of people and make sort of thumbnails and designs. I learned that all from just doing regular day things, and now I get to really implement it into something like this. So that's a little bit of how I got the idea for Flip the Mind and how it came about and whatnot. But let's talk about Flip the Mind and just a bunch of the things that are on there that I kind of want to give my input to anyone who wants to also start their own business. Alright, so this might be a little bit weird, but I have Flip the Mind up right here, kind of showing the different pictures and whatnot. So I'm off to the side, but I'm looking at it on my phone to kind of give you guys a little bit of sort of intel and whatnot. So as you can see on the front homepage, we have the logo, we have the whole purpose around Flip the Mind, and then we got the quote of the day, and we just have all this different stuff, right? And I feel like people, when you think about starting your own business and stuff, I feel like the parts that you think are going to be easy are actually the parts that are hard, and the parts that you think are going to be hard are actually the parts that are going to be kind of easy. As someone who has had quite a bit of time and quite a bit of experience, I can kind of, really give my take on everything. And what I would say for anyone who's wanting to start something, you need to have a reason as to why. Now, if you don't have a reason as to why you are starting it, and if your only reason for starting a website or business is because you want money, like if that's your only reason why, then you're never going to succeed in the way that you would need to succeed. Your only drive shouldn't be trying to get money. It should be trying to grow a community of people. And if you like fashion, think of cool fashion ideas. Don't just go for what everybody else is doing, because otherwise you're gonna find yourself just doing the same thing as everyone else, and no one's gonna really like care or bother to even like want to try and like buy your stuff. Now, everything on the website, like I had to individually make. I had to like implement everything onto there, and I just kind of wanted to talk about that process a little bit. It's going to take you a lot of time. Don't think that this is a 1 or 2 day project, even a month. It took me, I think, 2 months straight to just get the website done, and then it took me about like 6 months of editing my book to then finally release it. Like, my book was in the making for quite some time. It was in the making for, I would say, about like 2 years, because I started writing it when I was 15 and I finished it when I was obviously 17 now. And it took me quite a while, and it was very stressful at times, because sometimes when you're writing stuff out, it doesn't sound the way you want it to sound, or sometimes when you're trying to get a point across, it doesn't get across at the way that you want it to, and it can be kind of frustrating. Now, I know everyone isn't going to be writing a book, and that's totally fine. Like, some of you might just be trying to sell clothes or whatever it may be, but if you want to sell something, just get out there and sell stuff. Like, buy the stuff that you need. Don't buy the stuff that you want, buy the stuff that you need. Some people think you need to spend thousands upon thousands of dollars just to even start your business, but that's not true. You need only even like $200. I think if you have a base of $200, you are secured, and I'll tell you why, and I'll get to some of the things that you should focus on buying with that $200 when you're thinking about like trying to make your own website and stuff. But I also want to talk about some of the things with your website you have to be careful of. You have to make sure that obviously you're not scamming people. Like, you got to make sure all the buttons work. You got to make sure everything moves the way that it needs to move. You need to make sure the prices of everything is right. You need to make sure that everything just flows the way that it needs to flow. You need to make sure certain information is on there, certain information isn't on there. There's a lot of different things you have to kind of take into play here, and if you realize that all up front, you're gonna get too overwhelmed. But as you kind of work on it, you'll start to realize a little bit more of what you need to do. But anyways, with the $200, what I would recommend you do is, if you are selling, like, let's say your main thing is you're selling shirts and you're selling hoodies with designs that you made, I would order 2 of the designs that you made with whatever service that you want to use. Now, I'm not going to get too much into the different services and whatnot that I use, but you can kind of look at that online. I'll have other videos talking about this in the future, but I'm pretty much just going over like how I started my business and stuff. So that's what I would recommend. Get a hoodie and a shirt if you're starting like your own kind of thing with that. If you want to make your own jewelry, get the necessary requirements that you need for that jewelry. Don't buy so much jewelry. That's one of the main things that I feel like people kind of run into, is buying too much inventory. Look, I get it. I did the same exact thing. I bought a bunch of different designs and a bunch of different things, a bunch of different variants, and it ended up just being a total dud, right? Like, I spent all that time trying to find all these different variants that I didn't take the time to realize that I just need a couple few to really get started. Another thing I would buy is, for making the designs and stuff, you could pay for a program, or you could pay for a like kind of editing program. Like, I'm gonna shout this one website out that I use. It's called Canva. Canva is absolutely beautiful. I love Canva. It's probably one of my favorite things that I use as of like today. There's so much like good stuff that's on Canva that you can 100% use that's free. Like Canva is free, but there is the pro version. The pro version is outstanding. I recommend anyone. It is $12 a month. I won't lie, but it is still really good. So yeah, that is a couple of the different things that I think everyone should take into consideration when you are trying to start your own website or, you know, business type thing. Is really get the layout down of what you want to do. I sketched everything out in one of my notebooks. Actually, I have it right here. Now, it's nothing crazy, but this is what I sketched out at first. And I pretty much just made a bunch of different pages about different things of how I was going to set it up. All the different, you know, parts. Like I had the merchandise all put down, and it actually looks pretty accurate to the way that it looks. And like the about/contact, the activities page and how it was gonna look. And you like, then I calculated the profit on everything of how much I would make. And then I wrote down a bunch of the ideas that I needed to add on there. And I mean, this whole notebook is filled with a bunch of ideas that I implemented into Flip the Mind. And I mean, this thing holds pretty much everything that I've done. But anyways, that is some of the advice that I would give to you guys for anyone who's wanting to start your own kind of like business thing or website, whatever it may be. That is some of the advice that I would give you. If you want to ever, like, you know, kind of message me about more things, you can join my Discord server for Flip the Mind. It will be, well, actually I can't put links in description, which kind of sucks because YouTube for some reason has a problem with that. I will link the just go to flipthemind.com. It will bring you there, and or once you are on that page, you can find the Discord. It's right within the first it's on the first page, so you'll find it pretty easily. You can join the Discord, and if you have any questions, you can definitely ask me, because, you know, I've been doing this for a couple months now. I know I haven't been doing it for like years, but I do have a couple of tips that I would give to a couple of people when you're wanting to start your own business or website or cause for whatever it is. But before you go, remember the most important thing is that if you are starting your own type of business thing or website, whatever you want to call it, just make sure you are passionate about it, because it's the things that you are passionate about that you will succeed in. And I truly believe that, because the other stuff I just didn't really care about as much, but there's something about Flip the Mind that resonates with me so much, that makes me so passionate about, you know, helping so many teens out there that are dealing with the same things that I'm going through. And I just can't wait to really get the word out there and start from the ground up. So thank you to everyone who has subscribed and everyone who's been following along in the journey. We are not done. We're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep grinding. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. I will see you all on Monday. Peace out.